I'm with Stevens, a very good English-speaking gentleman from Haiti originally, correct?
Yeah, originally I'm from Haiti. I'm from Port-au-Prince. I was born in Port-au-Prince, the capital of Haiti.
Great.
I was born in Petronville.
Petronville. And you've just had a lot of troubles going on in Haiti. What actually went down, and why did so many people run around, burn cars, and all the shops shut? They blocked the roads and lots of other trouble.
Okay, in my country, and then there is a problem of government, and then these people just get trouble with the government and then the government is taking everything for them, and then they didn't give anything for the people. There is no opportunity. It's just for that reason the people were on strike. And then they got the street and do all those stuff and then the government wanted to put the price of the gasoline too high. This is just the reason.
So it's like the straw that broke the camel's back. That's what made them snap and say enough is enough.
Yeah, enough is enough, because they abuse them too much. And then there is a philosopher author. He said that when you put the man in a situation that will equal to the animal, and then they don't think well, and they just do it just like animals.
Good comments, and I wish you all the very best. You're here in Dominican Republic now, exploring your opportunities, correct?
Yes, and then I came here on November 2013 just to study medicine, but now I finished my medical study. And then in Haiti, I went to the law school. I was studying law there, and then now I'm a polyglot. I can speak 7 languages: Italian, Italian, German, and I can speak as well good French, Spanish, all the stuff here, And then here I'm trying to enjoy my life in the Dominican Republic just to see if I can make my life quite bearable.
Very good. I wish you all the very best. Thanks, Stevens. Great comments.
You're very welcome. It was a great pleasure to make my comments with you, And then God bless you.
Thank you. Cheers.
All right.
Bye-bye. I'm here with Mark Whiteley from Vancouver in Canada. Thank you very much for being on camera,
yeah,
Mark.
Of course.
How you had just returned from Haiti.
That's correct.
So what is the current situation in Haiti at the moment, and why did you decide to get out of Dodge this time?
Well, I had been to Haiti 8 times. The first trip was for the earthquake, and subsequently I married a Haitian girl and went back to help. But this last trip in September of 2018, I arrived. I hadn't been there in about 2 years. I'd been in Vancouver, and it was a little bit over my head, just going back. I had separated from my wife. I arrived in Port-au-Prince, and immediately I noticed a change in the populace. They seemed incredibly angry. I didn't know if it was because of Trump's comments about it being a shithole, which could have pissed them off a little bit. But I think it was more than that. They really don't give a shit what Trump says. It was that petrol prices had gone up to the point where they couldn't afford to drive. And they were firebombing supermarkets, and I heard of a police officer being dragged through the streets naked in a moto, and they were killing people. It just was not a place that I wanted to be in. I stayed a couple of weeks, but I basically feared for my life the whole trip.
And that would have had to be pretty bad, because you were telling me you've had quite a bit of time in Haiti, and obviously you got married to a nice lady and all that. So, but under the current situation or circumstances, you found their behaviors to change, to become very brash. Or
in 8 trips, I would say Haiti's always a dangerous place. But I had family there, and I had a reason to be there. Haiti's a place you have to have a purpose to go. My first purpose was to go help, and my other purposes were to be with my wife and to encourage the relationship and get her a visa. So I had a reason. This last trip, my wife had betrayed me and we separated, so I wanted to go back to Haiti because she had taken Haiti from me. The betrayal had soured me, so I wanted to go back and reclaim my Haiti, because Haiti's personal to me too, not just because I have a Haitian wife. She'd abandoned the country. She had left her family, is in Montreal right now. So I wanted to go back and see the family and see this country I'd fallen in love with and see the people. But upon arrival, I was shocked. It seemed incredibly chaotic, incredibly, I can't use the word violent, but it was seething. It seemed like a capital that was about to explode. And I could see in the eyes that they didn't like me at all being there.
Do they call you Canadian, American?
The first few trips, anyone from outside Haiti is called a blanc, B-L-A-N, which in French or Creole means white, or to them it means outsider. But in the last couple of trips there, I had been there enough, I'd married into the culture, I was there in the cholera epidemic, I got sick, I lived with the Haitians, so in the last couple of trips, other than this last one, they weren't calling me blonde anymore. Even in the streets of Port-au-Prince, I was working with 2 U.S. Marines that were black. They would call them blanc as we walked by, but they would say to me, hello, salute. So I basically, through the act of suffering with them, I'd integrated myself into the Haitian culture. It's a culture that you cannot get in. They don't want you there. They don't like you there. They don't need you there. I'm not saying they're racist against white people. I'm not saying it at all, but it's not an inviting culture. But I slipped in through the cracks through a marriage, and then I learned the language. It's a deceptive language, too. They don't have genders. They didn't want the French slave owners to know that there's a he or a she, so the word is li, L-I. So it's a very secretive language. It cannot be understood by the French. It's sort of like Jamaican English. You just can't understand what they're saying. But I speak Creole now. I learned the way they think and act, and I found it fascinating. Loving people, strong as can be.
Now you mentioned, if we can just go back to the current situation, a lot of things like boiling down there. Are they carrying weapons, all of them, or what's the story?
I've seen a lot of weapons, guns, knives.
How many people were killed?
Last Friday, I think 70 of the Lavalas gang were killed either by the police or by the police's surrogates. Just massacred and left in the streets with oregano over them so they didn't stink. There was fear and anger, the two. And I noticed also that the fearful people were looking at me like, why are you here? And the angry people were looking at me like, what the fuck are you here for? All of them were wondering, why is a white guy here now? After the quake, they could understand it. But in all of those trips, no matter how much help was there, I know where they were. They were up in the mansions in Petronville eating food while the Haitians were starving, because in all the trips, I was in Haiti. And it doesn't matter what the kind ladies back home would say, oh, we went to help. I never saw anyone helping in any of those trips other than the U.S. Army. Not one person I saw helping. It's a country that exposes lies, but because no one goes there, the lies aren't exposed to the people outside of Haiti. But I'd say it's troubled as much as it's ever been. I could see there being a revolution, if that's a strong word, but I could see it going south very quickly right now.
And when you say they were up in the hills enjoying food, and that's the NGOs?
The NGOs, the doctors, the nurses, the helpful people from all over the world. For example, the Red Cross, that organization which we all respect, they gave out 1 million bottles of water. Well, that sounds like a lot, but one day of 1 million bottles of water, when there's 4 million people in the city, it means nothing. They also built 6 homes. They didn't do anything. And yet millions of dollars were given to this organization and other organizations to help. But I never saw any help all the time I was there.
You didn't see Hillary and Bill walking around handing out food parcels?
No, I know how they destroyed the rice industry in Haiti and brought in Arkansas rice and undercut it. So now the rice industry has collapsed completely. There's no more rice grown.
Right.
And all those people that were growing rice ended up in Port-au-Prince, and probably half of them were killed by the quake. So the Clintons did great damage to Haiti. Bill Clinton actually apologized to the people of Haiti. He understood what he had done. I don't think he did it maliciously. He just wanted to give them a cheaper rice, but it was a bad mistake.
Well, there's rumors of multi-millions going missing.
Gold. Yeah, gold. Many things.
Well, maybe there's a bigger agenda behind what happened. Yeah. Anyway, it's very interesting to hear this. I've got a couple of friends just locally here who travel in and out of Haiti, and they said they got out of Dodge just recently as well. But just, was it a couple of months, a little bit back, the same thing was happening as well, where they blocked the streets.
Yes.
And threatened to throw petrol on people if they crossed through the...
They were throwing like
roadblocks.
Molotov cocktails into cars and stuff. I was going down to visit my wife's family after the divorce because I wanted to see them again. They said, you can't come in June. So I came in September, and then it got volatile again, so I left.
So what's your advice to anybody who was thinking of going down to Haiti?
I love Haiti. If I had 100 gentlemen in front of me, you can't go, you're not going, you shouldn't go. Out of 100 guys, I would probably pick one guy that could go to Haiti or would accompany, just based on judgment of what people are like. I don't think most people could either stand it, or they couldn't survive it, or they wouldn't like it, or they'd be rejected. It's not a place for everybody.
You mentioned something that was very interesting at the bar before this interview started, which was how little food that they live on sometimes. You had gone for, a couple of days, you were starving, you said at one stage, and then what did the girl say to you, or the lady? That we go for a couple of weeks sometimes.
Living with the Haitians, my wife said to me, Mark, you always talking about food. I go, well, I haven't eaten in 2 days. I just want a meal. And she goes, Papi, sometimes we don't eat for 1 week or 2 weeks. I go, what? She goes, yeah, I go, what do you do? She goes, we do our hair, we forget about food. In Haiti,
Because there just ain't any.
they don't, I grew up in Vancouver. There's lots of Italian stuff. You always eat communally. I have never seen my wife or anyone in her family eat a meal in all the 8 trips. They bring your food, they put it with the basket over it because of flies. You eat it. When you're finished, you leave it there. Someone will come along and eat it. It's a very African country in that sense. You eat, and that's it. You put it there. But I've never sat at the table eating with people. They put your meal out, you eat it. That person will go over in that corner and eat it. That person will eat there. I think it goes back to the slave days, which in the sense makes... In any Haitian home I've been, they don't have any possessions. Why? They know if they have something, someone's going to steal it. Someone's going to take it. So the way I look at Haiti is a large prison. It's a large slave colony. The other thing I've noticed is each family I lived with had their own slave. They called them restavecs. They fought against slavery, but it was inculcated into such a point that they still have slaves in Haiti. I don't think many people in the outside world know that. They're called restavecs there. Someone that doesn't have any money that come and they just don't pay them and they live in the house. Haiti's not for everybody.
So Mark, what do you think would happen if the borders were open suddenly to the Haitians coming in here, or if they came caravanning into the country the way they're currently trying to get in from Venezuela, Colombia, and many other places right now? They're trying to flock into America.
There would be a flood that would make the immigrant flood into Europe look minor, because every Haitian I met, they loved Haiti, but the urge to get out was so it was an unspoken urge. You could tell that they know they suffer in their life. They talk about it as the Haitian life. They have relatives in New Jersey or Montreal. They've seen TV. They know what the outside world is like to a degree. And they would all leave if they could. If the borders were open, there'd be no Haitians left, I would think. If the borders were actually open, you could just cross.
Then there would be a war. Because for all the comments I get on my channel, one of the main fears I hear from Dominicans is that they're going to come and try to fight us and take over our island, our country. From the islands for both of them, but
I can see that.
Dominican
From leaving
Republic.
Port-au-Prince, going to Santo Domingo, and then here to Sosua, it was like going from the 12th century to modern. Well, Santo Domingo is as modern as Vancouver, and I would consider Vancouver one of the most modern cities. There was tunnels, and I was blown away, even though I knew Santo Domingo was big. And what that means is there's an economic disparity of such a great degree that with just that border, I can see why the Dominicans, when I arrived here, it was paradise, but now I realize I can see why they would be afraid. With 12 million Haitians, and we know the Haitians are strong, it's a scary thought. It's a scary thought, I would think, for the Dominicans, knowing that.
well, they've come to the point now where they've been pushed so far down the dirt from internationally and their own government that they're starting to uprise over, whenever you take the already high fuel prices and lift them even further.
And you had an earthquake.
And you had an earthquake.
And cholera and hurricanes. I saw this Haitian citizenry over 8 years, from 2010 to now, and I saw their different moods. One time it was like they won the lottery. They were all happy. It was an amazing trip. This trip, I felt like I was dropped into Gaza after a summer strike by Israel. It was the hate towards me as a white. It was palpable. It did scare me, this trip, and the hate towards each other. It was threatening this city.
Humans don't stop and think, hey, if the fish stinks, it stinks at the head. We shouldn't be angry with the other people. We should be angry with the ones causing it. So, don't you think this is part of a world agenda to try to take over Haiti and just push the people so far down the dirt that...
The best one of all, Alexander the Great, said, I think it was him, said, divide and conquer. And the Haitians are hurting each other. There's been killings. I think 70 of the Lavalas gang was killed by the police or their surrogates. And from what I saw in Haiti, any feeling of comradeship that they had immediately after the quake and subsequently, it's a vicious place right now. And I would never recommend anybody go there right now.
Mark,
it was scary.
Thank you so much for these comments.
Yes.
I appreciate it, and all the very best.
Thank you.
Cheers. Upon popular request, I've got Ayiti with me here again. Many of the viewers have enjoyed watching him in the past because he just shoots from the heart and the hip. AT, what exactly went down in Haiti, and why did people block the roads and throw petrol onto people, light them up, and all sorts of crazy stuff?
What happened is the government was going to raise the gas price on the gallon of the gas. They was going to raise the price. So just all they did is they would put the announcement out there on the radio. Next thing you know, people start going crazy, burning people, not house, businesses and stuff like that. But the whole thing is, man, Haiti is always about politics. You got one side give people money, the opposition. They're all doing the opposite. They don't like the government, even though the government trying to do something. But you have the opposition, they're always trying to stop because the government is working. It's hard in Haiti. There's a lot to do in Haiti. But when you go in and start burning stuff, burning people's house, burning people's location and stuff like that, we're going backward. We Haitians have to learn that we have to stay together, just like the Dominican.
Exactly. Well, interesting comments there. So I've had others that said the opposite. So there's obviously two very distinct groups of beliefs that are raging through Haiti there, and that's like the bottleneck for the country moving forward. But thanks for your insights, and enjoy your life here in Dominican Republic.
My pleasure.
Cheers. What are you doing there, sir?
Yeah, what I do is customize the breasted. You can put any name, any size. You can do it for your son, your daughter, your auntie. Once you come down to the beach, you ask AT to customize your breasted. I could do it for you. The good thing about it, your kids back home be the only one that have one in school, one in the church. Your kids be the only one that have it. Okay?
Fantastic.
Customized breasted.
Thanks, AT.
Okay, no problem, sir. You enjoy the rest of the day.
Happy working. Cheers.
All right, now.
And with me here, I have one of my regulars, which is Johnny. Thanks again for being on video.
Hey, good to be here, Mr. T. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And you travel in and out of Haiti a lot. There's been one last demonstration and then just a latest breakout in Haiti. And this time you decided just to get out of there in a hurry. Last time you had trouble even getting out. Can you give everybody the scoop on why you got out this time in a hurry?
Well, I learned my lesson on the first time, and I was trying to think of the date, the exact date that was, but it was just a couple of months when the first, I call it insurrection, popped off. And I was in Port-au-Prince, downtown Port-au-Prince, in a place called La Ville, 4:30 in the afternoon, with a buddy of mine there, getting ready to catch the bus, and all of a sudden, pop, 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 and that's when it popped off. They started shooting the guns, and everybody hit the ground, hid behind the buses, the cars, anything you could get behind. And then from there on, the next 5 days, everything was shut down. Just completely shut down. No transportation. You couldn't leave. Whatever you were, you had to stay there. If you were to leave, you would definitely be hurt. Because what was going on was there was, like, I want to say, mob violence. Individually, the Haitian people were fine. No problem. They're great people. But when you get a group of people together and they get wound up on something, it's just like in the Dominican Republic and a lot of other countries, it can be very dangerous. And it would have been dangerous for a guy like me to try to venture out.
So this time there was some violence over there. Did you see anything? Or?
No, this last time I didn't see it. I got out before it shut off, before it popped off. I got out. But that other one I did, I was lucky to get to where I was staying that particular night. Just lucky to get there without getting shaken down, maybe even hit by a rock or even beat up or. So
what's your attraction to keep going in there?
Well, I like Haitian people. I think the Haitian people are really good people. I think this little struggle they're going through right now, as I understand it, and this is talking from the locals, what's going on in Haiti right now is you have the president who's in power, who they all seem to kind of like. His nickname is the Banana Man. I forget what his real name is, but he was a banana farmer previously. Yeah, the opposition party to the president that is in power is giving him a hard time. They really want to make him look bad, but according to the general public, Haitian people that I speak with in country and out of the country, he's not doing a bad job. But the opposition wants to stir it up, wants to make him look bad because he's getting kind of popular, and they want to, for the next election, they kind of want to have a stronghold on that. So what they're doing is they're kind of trumping up things. For example, the Haitian government got a loan from Venezuela years ago. They get an oil loan, and they're supposed to repay it. This was years and years and years ago, long before this poor president was in there. And now what the opposition is telling these people in Haiti, the protesters, telling them that this president that's in power should give back that money. Where's all that money? Why haven't you used it for roads, infrastructure? But it's not his problem. It was prior to his administration. He's caught up in it, and money's gone. His administration didn't have anything to do with it. But that's the propaganda that they're feeding the people, and it's just gone to their heads. That's the whole thing is about, as I understand it.
It sounds like financial self-sabotage.
Yeah.
What they're doing. Yeah. When do you plan to go again?
Oh, I don't know. This last time, like I said, that first time I was really, been around the world a few times. First time I've really been scared in a country where I could not leave where I was, and I knew if it went on much longer and everything was shut down. You could not buy anything. You could not go out on the street, roads, everything. So nobody had any food. It was just a matter of time for people in their little houses were going to run out of tomatoes and onions and potatoes and rice, and really start to get violent. And I did not want to get caught up in it because there was no way to get out of it. There was no escape plan. You could not, if you left your house, especially me, obviously I'm not a Haitian, I would be an instant target. They would obviously know I'm an outsider. And they really were targeting outsiders more than they were even targeting their own Haitian people, because it was a good publicity stunt. Get on the foreigner, because it wouldn't be a good publicity stunt. But yeah, after that first trip, when I really went down like it went down, and I suspected this one was going to be just as bad, and it wasn't as bad, but everything was closed up for about 3 or 4 days. So that's no electricity, that's no water, that's no food, that's no lights, no water. Not good.
One last question: the people that are in these gangs that are causing all the rioting and trouble, what's your opinion of their type of characters? Is it the thugs?
They're hoodlums, thugs, guys with no jobs. And the opposition, as I understand it, is giving them a few gourds, that's their local money. They're paying them a little bit to do it. And they're supplying with, like one leader of one particular neighborhood, they're giving him a cell phone so that the organizers can communicate, shut off Route F, shut off Route 1, shut off Route 9.
So
they're coordinating
the roads.
all this. Yeah, the opposition party. That's what they're telling me.
Johnny, thank you so much for your insights, and I hope you will take a good rest in Dominican Republic and consider seriously when it's safe to go back there again.
Yeah, when it's safe to go back. All right,
okay.
Thanks, Mr. T.
Take care. Cheers. And with me here I have another keen Caribbean traveler, which is Ron. Thanks for being on video, Ron.
Sure, Mr. T. How are you, sir?
I'm very good, thank you. And look at that beautiful beach.
Why are you listening?
Yeah, we've had a little bit of rain here today, but it's still wonderful. Now, what's your experience when it comes to the Haitians' mentality when things are calm compared to what they're willing to do to foreigners when things flare up, like what we've just heard from Mark and Johnny earlier in this video?
Well, I don't think it's the regular Haitian people. It's opposition groups that want to get rid of the government that's in place right now. And I think what they're trying to make a point, and by targeting, I think, foreigners or tourists that are there, they think they're going to get a bigger, worldwide news
exposure.
News exposure, and that's why it can get pretty dangerous. So we had to leave. I was working in an orphanage in Cafu, Haiti, for a friend of mine, Marcel, mutual friend, and he told me I was supposed to be there for a week. I was there 4 days, and we had to bail out. He was like, "You need to get out. Your life is too important. They might take it out on you. It gets very violent here during protests." So they were supposed to protest that Sunday, and we bought tickets, me and Johnny, who was interviewed earlier, and we left on Saturday to avoid all this, which I really wanted to stay and work with the kids.
Very smart.
Yeah.
And Ron, if I can ask, what's your biggest motivation to travel in and out of Haiti? Because not everybody who even comes here would ever dare to go across the border and head into Haiti.
Well, I'm adventurous, and when people tell me some place is dangerous, that's a place I want to go. I want to check it out and see if it really is dangerous. And most of the time, I have no problem. But I know a lot of Haitians, Americans from my area. I live in the New Jersey, New York area, and there's big Haitian communities there. Irvington, East Orange, New Jersey, Orange, New Jersey, and then in Brooklyn, New York, a lot of Brooklyn, a big Haitian community. I have a lot of friends that are from there. I also learn in Creole because I've been traveling to the Dominican Republic over 30 years, and I met a lot of Haitian friends here, and they're very hardworking, very good people, very smart, intelligent, and I wanted to learn the language. I've also dated a girl who was Haitian, and she would speak Creole amongst her friends, and I felt left out, and I started to pick up on the language and learn on my own. Now I get to talk to everybody. I'm conversational. I wouldn't call me completely fluent, but I'm very conversational. I can say anything I want. I can order what I want.
So when you were there, what do you actually get involved doing down there?
Well, like I said, I did volunteer work before. I've done volunteer work with the earthquake. I did medical volunteer work during the earthquake 2010. I've also did a volunteer work this time. In November 13th, I was in an orphanage. I was volunteering with the kids. I was teaching the kids English, and I was learning more Creole from them.
What's the name of the orphanage, just to give it a shout out?
I don't. It's Timoon Esped. I can't remember.
You've also been with Dr. Joseph.
I met Dr. Joseph. I have not been with him yet, but I have met him twice through John Serb. Mm-hmm. And we've spoken. He's a great guy. I do want to go over and hang out with him, but I just met him recently.
So a lot of these kids are coming in to the orphanage very hungry, are they? These are kids that were orphaned. A lot of them were orphaned during the earthquake, and the kids he has lost their parents during the earthquake. Not all of them, but a percentage of them. And they are really great. They do great with the kids. They're so structured. They get up in the morning. They all take their shower. They all have breakfast together. They all pray before meals. Then they go to school. When they come home from school, they have their dinner, they pray, and then they go back and they all work together doing homework, and they're assistants in the house that help them. And I came to love them. I was only there 3 or 4 days, but I got along with them so good. We got such a rapport. And I hate to leave early. I had to bail out because of the expected protest on Sunday. And I spoke to them over WhatsApp, and they all said, "Hey, they say bonjour, bonjour," all the kids, and I miss them. I'm going to go back again when things calm down for sure. Excellent. Ron, thank you so much for your great comments and safe travels.
Thank you very much, Mr. T. It was great to talk to you again.
Cheers. You too.
Thank you.